Hey guys, it's Andre, and I wanted to talk to you today about something I never really thought I would get into, but I wanted to talk to you today about how you can heal your own body. Now, I'm a software developer. I come from the world and background of logic and science, and I went to UC Berkeley, one of the best schools for computer science, right? I come from the world of physics and like that mathematical background. If you told me many years ago you can heal yourself, I would have thought, what are you talking about? You go to the doctor for that. Well, over the past 7 years, I'll save you all the details of my story, but I had several challenges and I had to figure out how to heal myself because I wasn't getting that from the traditional conventional methods. So there is something inside of all of us that is innate, that is an organizing wisdom that does healing in your body. No Western anything heals you yourself, your body heals you. The Western tactics try to aid that in happening. So let me give you a quick example. My mother's neighbor is a hand surgeon, very successful. So when a hand gets severed, all the hand surgeons can do is reattach it and line it up the best that they can. And then that's it. Everything else that happens from that point on is the body healing itself. Specifically, the nerves will grow themselves, the nerves will reconnect and find their way. Surgeons don't sew nerves back together. All they do is line it up the best they can. And then the innate energy, the organizing wisdom of the body does the rest. So there's already this energy, this power, whatever you want to call it, this force within you that if you can learn to tap into it, it can change your life if you learn how to work with this force. And this is what I stumbled into quite literally. I was trying to meditate, trying to figure out my issues, mental, emotional, physical issues that I was having for years. And I stumbled into one day in a meditation that I felt something shift. And I was like, what was that? That wasn't anything. What I felt was not, an emotion. It wasn't tears. There was this kind of other sense inside. And it kind of felt like, if you think about when you get goosebumps, right? When you get goosebumps, you got this kind of like tingle that runs across the surface level of your skin. It's kind of felt like tingles like that, but running within my body, almost as if something was like dissolving inside. And it might sound crazy, and I'm sure it sounds crazy, and it sounded crazy to me back in the day, right? If you learn how to tap into this, and you can, it's in your entire body, it's in every cell of your body. As you learn to tap into this force, this power, you can start to really heal yourself in ways that others can't. There's only so much that Western medicine can do. There's only so much that therapy can do. There's only so much that meditation can do. There's only so much that coaches, your business coach, friends, parents, teachers can do. And what I've learned along the way is there's a certain level of the work, of your healing, of your journey that only you can do. And it takes a certain person, a certain mindset to want to make that work, to want to do those changes. Honestly, I think it's pretty rare. Not everyone wants to blaze their own path and figure out how to heal themselves. But for those who do, and for those who take the time to learn and to master this skill, your level of independence and self reliance just goes through the roof. So, how do you do this? How do you start talking with your body, communicating with your body in a way to tap into this innate organizing power? And just as a side note, there is research on this too. If you look up reorganizational healing, it's a really interesting and very powerful phenomena and an idea that the body will and can reorganize itself when it's given the correct environment to do so. Just like when a hand is reattached, it's given the environment to allow the organization, the reorganization to happen, right? Similar concept, except we're whole. We're not, there's no surgery happening internally with what we're doing, but we can shift things in such a way that we can allow and create space and ease for the reorganization to happen. And so when I say talk to your body, right? Many people might, there's there's a lot of videos on YouTube. There's a lot of meditations where they tell you to actually speak to your body. And it can work and it does in some cases. That's not what I mean. If you are sitting there, eyes closed, whatever, meditation, you're like, heal body, please heal. Like, I love you, body. I'm so grateful for this body. And you speak in those words, doesn't mean anything's going to happen. Because here's what I've learned: language is only so much of a powerful tool. It's limited. Language is limited. And let me give you an example. Maybe you know somebody who's been in talk therapy for years, but there has been a lot of breakthrough. There hasn't been a lot of shifts. I went through therapy for years, and it was hard for me to, it was rare for me to find a therapist who could actually help me because language wasn't the thing that was going to help me, right? We were talking and they were talking and I was talking, and they weren't asking the right questions to get deep into the emotional stuff that actually made a difference. And my brain was too, high level overthinking in my head and just not diving into that layer myself. And so me using language and them using language, we always stayed too superficial. And I'm not trying to blame them, and I don't know if I'm the one to blame. That's not the point. The point is, if it didn't work, it didn't work. And so that tool of language is only powerful for certain things and for so many things, right? So what you really want to do, the language of the body is not English. The language of the body is not language, it's not words. The language of the body is sensations, feelings, your senses, right? You have five senses. You actually have six. You have five senses, and that is how the body communicates, right? Through electrical impulses, because something hit your skin and your nerve fired, and now it creates some type of sensation or some signal internally in your brain. Or you see something, some light hit you in the eye, and that signal is now going, to your brain, getting processed, and now you're understanding something because that's the language of the body, is that sensation, that sense that you have. And so here's the sixth sense that I'm talking about, and this is super, super important. The sixth sense, well, let's take a step back. The five senses, right? Sight, smell, sound, taste, and Jesus, what's the last one? Touch. Sight, smell, sound, taste, and touch. Those are all external senses. They're all pointing to external things. Sight, you're looking at things outside of you. Sound, you're hearing things outside of you. Smell, you're smelling things in your environment. Touch, you are touching physical things, right? And Jesus, what was the last one? Brain fart day. Sight, sound, smell, taste. And taste, you're tasting things that are, food you put into your mouth, right? Once they're in your body, you don't taste them anymore. Unless they come back. Let's not talk about that. Okay, so the sixth sense. The sixth sense is the most powerful one. The sixth sense is your ability to place your awareness on something. And no one talks about this. And I don't know why no one talks about this, but this has literally been the most powerful tool that I've learned in the past 7 years. And it's what I've used to heal myself, is this sense of your awareness, your point of awareness. Where is your attention? Where is your awareness? So if I tell you to put your attention on the computer screen that you're looking at, that's probably where it is now. If I tell you to put your attention on whatever's to the left of you, the left wall of wherever you are, or if you're outside, Pick a tree, right? Pick a building. You can turn and look at it, but that's putting your eyes over there. But if you put your awareness over there, that's different. And so now if I tell you to put your awareness at the top of your head, it takes your focus away from the screen that you're watching and it puts your awareness somewhere on your body, right? That's different. And so if I told you to close your eyes and put your awareness right behind your eyes, kind of where your nose is, right behind your eyes, like an inch behind your eyes, just right there, and just put your awareness there. That's a sense you can cultivate. And so here's, side note, an interesting thing. All the big tech companies, Facebook, all the Meta, Facebook, Instagram, right? Snapchat, TikTok, what are they doing? They are getting paid billions of dollars by advertisers because they have mastered how to keep your attention, YouTube included. It's true. You give your attention, your awareness to these social media platforms, which is now interest media, actually. You give your awareness to them, you give them your attention, and it's so valuable that they're earning billions of dollars because other companies are paying to advertise through it. That's how powerful it is. That's how valuable your attention and your awareness is. And so, when you learn to close your eyes, and I'm not saying meditate, I'm not saying focus on your breath. Believe me, I'm not a fan of those types of meditations. I don't even call what I do meditation. If you train yourself and you learn to close your eyes and put your awareness internally within the body, and you build that sixth sense, you can then learn to talk to your body in the language of your body, which is the sensation. And yes, when you get more connected, you can use language because it does help in some cases. You can say, I feel so disconnected. You can say words of affirmation and positivity. Positivity. I'm so grateful for this body. Thank you, body. I'm grateful for my health. That's not the base language of the body. As you learn to tap in and start to sense, you can then communicate with your body at that point. You can interact with the sensations. Then the sensations can be uncomfortable sometimes. And that's okay. It's actually a good thing because pain is not a bad thing. You don't want to take an Advil to numb the pain so that you don't have it. The pain is your body communicating to you that there's something going on. And a headache is just one example, right? But what if you had like a dull tightness or ache or something that didn't feel maybe like a physical issue, really, but you had something? It's like your body is saying there's something here. And you can learn to communicate with that and you can interact with that and then you can shift it. It takes practice. I'm not going to lie to you. It does take practice. But it's one of the best things. It's one of the most powerful things that I've learned. I actually taught myself how to do over the past many years. I've taught some friends how to do it and some clients, and they've learned it a lot faster. And it's completely changed my life because this is the way the body interacts and communicates. And so if you're out there and you are trying to perform at your best, if you're an entrepreneur, business owner, any type of high performer, you are basically like a professional athlete and you have to have the best body that you can. Not necessarily the best physical, fitness shape where you're like, I can bench the most and squat the most and all the things. No, but you have to be in peak condition because if your body is out of alignment, if your body is unhealthy and causing issues and noisy and screaming at you, it's going to distract you from your business, from your relationships, from your work, from your career. And that distraction can cost you money. It can cost you relationships. It definitely has for me. So as you learn to talk with your body, you can learn to dissolve the noise. dissolve the stress, because who isn't stressed? We're all stressed. Stress is going to happen. It's part of being human, part of how the brain works. We'll get into that in another video. And so you can dissolve the stress when you know what to do. So it doesn't build up in your system and cause your system to scream and yell at you with all of this uncomfortable internal sensation to the point where there's so much it just numbs out. And now you have all of this going on that you're not even aware of. So the most powerful thing that you can really do is learn how to communicate with your body again in the language of sensing what's going on inside. And that requires discipline. I'm going to be honest. How many of us take a Tylenol or an Advil or some type of painkiller? How many of us drink because there's something going on in our day that we don't want to think about or feel, we want to forget about? How many of us turn on the TV because we want to forget about and just numb and veg out from the day? If you're not one of those people, you're in the right place. I don't even own a TV. I stopped drinking alcohol. I don't even have Tylenol and stuff like that in the house. It's not worth it to me. I don't need it. Neither do you. That's a personal choice. So as you learn to talk with this innate organizing wisdom, and I said talk, as you learn to communicate and interact with this innate organizing wisdom, it's very powerful. It's very, very powerful. I have not only rewired limiting beliefs that I have, I've healed other mental issues that I had going on for a long time, psychosomatic, mental, emotional issues also, was able to dissolve a lot of those. And then as I got better and better at this skill, because it's a skill you can learn, I was able to even dissolve physical tension I was carrying. And things that I had hired body workers for, professional therapists, massage therapists, physical therapists, things that they could not fix. They were too deep, they were too subtle, they were too hard for me to explain, they were too just in a weird place and kind of vague, but annoying me all day, every day. I was able to dissolve as well. So it's a very powerful, very innate ability that we all have the capability to do. It just takes the time to learn. And it all starts with taking your attention back and putting that internally, closing your eyes and just connecting with yourself again. So there's another video you might want to check out if this resonates at all. I call it the 7 levels of mind body healing. I'm going to place it right here. And it goes into a little bit of detail of what the stages of learning this can look like. So go ahead and check out this video, and I'll see you over there.